page, and I am so happy you're here. This is a bit of a different look for us because we are trying out a new studio, but it's the same great information you've come to count on from Champions for CASA, so thanks for rolling with us. Judge Pickard was packed with such powerful insights, we just had to make it a two-parter. Let's hear what she has to say about the 5 most influential people in your life.
I love CASA. CASAs are amazing. I am the judicial officer over the CASA program for Clark County. And let me tell you the story I love to share with CASAs is that I want everyone to think about the 5 people who influenced them in their lives. And the 5 people that influenced you to become who you are today can be a good influence, a bad influence, or just an influence who you observe neutrally. Well, a lot of people have parents who might be those mentors. So mom was a great mentor. Dad was a great mentor. Our foster kids don't tend to have parents that are mentors. In fact, they might influence them to say, I don't want to be like that. I will tell you, growing up, it was my teachers because I was never removed from the home and I have great parents, but they have some mental health issues and it influenced me. And so I had some great people who could step in and help me and be there for me. Sometimes a great role model can be a friend's mom, a friend's dad. Like, hey, I'm going to go over to my friend's house and work on the car today because all they're going to do is talk to me. We are losing these opportunities. When, for example, my grandma was always cooking in the kitchen. So you knew you could sit there and get a warm meal. We're losing that in most homes today. Maybe my dad was in the garage working on the cars and whoever wanted to stop by could work on a car with them. That is a great opportunity to be influenced by that person. But the 5 people that have influenced us most in our lives are often parents, aunts, uncles, teachers, grandparents, and neighbors. And now we bring the option of a CASA. There's a lot of opportunity for us to be influenced by other people, and we need to find community members who are willing to step up. We don't have the traditional mentors. And a CASA is a person who's going to walk that journey with that kiddo. And if we have a kid who comes in and they've come in one time, been returned to the parents, come in a second time, been returned or adopted, but that CASA is going to walk the journey, however long it is. That is a bond of trust that we need to establish. But we need people in our path, and sometimes they're not in our path, so we bring in people like CASAs who will voluntarily be in our path and teach us a different way to live life, teach us that we deserve respect. We deserve other people to treat us with respect and dignity. And sometimes it just starts with, I'm going to be the one person that goes to their baseball game.
Yes.
I'm going to be the one person that picks them up after school on Tuesday. I'm going to be the one person that takes them out for a lunch because nobody's ever had that one-on-one time with them. I'm going to be the one person that goes to their student-teacher conference, which many of our foster kids don't have anybody show up for. I'm going to be the one person that calls them on Valentine's Day and says, Happy Valentine's Day. Those one thing, you can start with one little thing. It can be huge, it can be small, but it just takes one person showing up for us, whatever that might be, and that is vital. I had one kiddo who used to run the juvenile drug court, and she had nobody to show up for her high school graduation. So I, as the judge, went to her high school graduation and took her a lei, and she just cried because that was that one person. And I couldn't stay for the whole thing, but I found her. I gave her a hug, and I gave her the lei, and I told her I was so proud of her. We needed somebody to show up, and that's what CASAs can do.
Well, Judge Pickard, I have to tell you, you were in mind when we were picking the name of our podcast, The Power of One. It came from me hearing you say that in court so often. And so that's one of the things that we talk about is one child, one advocate, one life changed. And that really did come very much from that. So thank you.
Of course. And I really feel strongly that we can all look back in our history. And if you have one person, even if you don't have the other 4, that one person can influence you to become the amazing leader that you never thought you could, right? So it's important. It's vital. So
I can't express the amount of times my CASA showed up for me in both the high rises and the lows as well. Like definitely there for my boot camp. Was definitely there anytime that I had something to celebrate, a birthday, a graduation ceremony, anything like that. But also at the times of like my lows as well. There was times, I turned 18 and I was, forced to, grow up as is expected of us. And there was times where I faced adult problems, car accidents, evictions, sometimes rent was late, just whatever it was, jobless, whatever. As I was hitting these obstacles growing up, and I'm looking at the people who were there, that both in my times of praise, but also my times of humbleness as well. That person was always consistent.
And I will tell you, listening to your story is incredible how influential your CASA was to you and helped you become who you are today. And you knew they were there for you. Mm-hmm. And I think that gives us the confidence to take risks. That gives us the confidence to try things we might not otherwise have even thought that we could do. So we need to find somebody who's going to give us the right direction and give us an opportunity to be whatever we want to be and we never even dreamed of, and give us those dreams and hopes. What can I be? You ask your CASA that. What can I be? What do you mean by there's other opportunities? To answer those important questions. I swear in CASAs. When they come in, when you go through the CASA process, you sign up. You go to CASALasVegas.org. You sign up to be a CASA. You say, I want to help. And you sign up. And then you go through a wonderful training process. You learn about the system. You learn about what you can do. You learn how you can help. You go through a long training. How many weeks is it?
30 hours.
30 hours. So it's not that long. I think half is in person, half is online.
They're hybrid.
And then when you're ready to become a true court officer, I swear you in. You come in, we have a ceremony at the courthouse. I have you raise your right hand, and we talk about why you're here.
You know, the best part about that too, being a CASA volunteer, is it's not scary. It's not overwhelming. No. Like hearing you say that just now, I'm thinking, oh God, how could I be a CASA? I am a CASA, but it seems like, how am I going to shape these young lives? How am I going to do that? The enormity of that, right? But the reality is, it just happens. We're working with great kids, and all we're doing is looking at it saying, what would I be doing if this were my child?
Yeah, I love it. I love the CASA program. I love Champions for CASA. I love that you guys are doing this podcast, because that person who hears this story will say, maybe for the first time, I could do that. And then they'll start noticing all the billboards, all of the social media campaigns to get CASA volunteers, because we have over 3,000 kids in the foster care system in Clark County. And I think we're at 750 CASAs. Is that right?
We're about 500.
500 CASAs. Mm-hmm. So 500 CASAs for 3,000 kids. So there's a lot of kids out there trying to make it on their own in the system. And it's very difficult to navigate. So they need somebody to stand with them and stand beside them.
Well, Judge Pickard, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
This was so enlightening, as always. My co-host Emilio and I just couldn't thank you enough for that.
Well, I feel honored to be here. So thank you.
Thank you. And for everyone else out there listening, I think one of the things that we really want to emphasize is, remember that it just takes one. Right? That's what we're really here to talk about. And as Judge Pickard talked about, Amelia talked about, we need your help. We need you to come out and help advocate for these kids, become a CASA volunteer. And if you can't become a CASA volunteer, that's okay too. There's a couple other ways you can help. There's always ways for us to be able to get involved. And so you can become a volunteer. You can tell someone else you know about it and tell them to become a volunteer, help us spread awareness. We are a 501c3. I'm always going to ask for money. We do need that. And all of our funds donated do go towards recruiting CASA volunteers as well. So thank you so much once again. And thank you for joining us.